Hi, it's me, Lil Frenchie, and I am just going to introduce my channel to you. Lil Frenchie, my real name is Anna, but that's the name of my channel, and my channel is going to be about you learning how to do art tutorials, mostly watercolor because that's what I do right now. And I want the most beginner to be able to do these videos and find that they do have creative energy in them and to create things in their life. So to begin, you're going to need some supplies, and so that's what this video is about. It's about knowing exactly what you need for your supplies and how to get started. I'm a single mom, so I try to keep everything as frugal as possible, trying to stay within my budget so I don't go crazy, and I've found a lot of items that have helped with that. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up with a household of artists. My dad was an oil painter, had me do my first oil painting when I was 6, and from there my family encouraged me to do art. I loved art through my whole life. I still do. It's a passion of mine, and I feel like we don't have enough of it in the world, and so I'm hoping that by doing these videos that you can create art and then spread that joy to others. I got into watercolor. I had a class 4 years ago. A friend of mine, because my other passion is quilting, she said, why don't you come over and learn how to do watercolor, because I always wanted to try it. She showed me. Before that, I'd been struggling with it. My supplies weren't the best, and when you don't have quality, your results aren't going to be exactly what you want. And so she had me try her supplies. They were amazing, and I found out what I could do with watercolor, and that it is a fun medium if you have the right supplies. So I'm going to tell you the best supplies to use for being on a budget or just don't have a lot of money. These are the best supplies I found that have worked for me throughout my watercolor. Now I do watercolor paintings every day at lunch for half an hour. Sometimes I finish them, sometimes I don't, and then all the paintings that I do at this time in my life, I do not sell. I give them away as gifts. I feel like it's a joy that I can share with others, and them taking home a painting just seems like it makes their day. Just know that they have a piece of art. No matter, even though I'm hard on myself, they enjoy it. I have a lot of people tell me they could never paint like me, and I'm going to tell you right now, you can. But I need you to not have super high expectations. I want you to realize you're not going to be Picasso, you're not going to be Van Gogh, you're not going to be Frida, and that's okay. Everybody has to start somewhere, and as you practice more and more, you're going to get better, and as you experiment, you're going to find your voice. All three of those artists are all very different in their style, but they found their voice and they found their passion, and they didn't really get super popular until later on. And so for me, art is just about creating and having fun and relaxing, and I really do it at lunchtime to help me wind down in the middle of my day. And so I'm going to start showing you what you need to start watercolor. I have a travel kit, then I have all my supplies at home as I gathered. I find that if you just get the supplies that I have for my travel kit, this is something you can do. First, we're going to start with a paper. Paper matters. And this is student, probably not most professional. You can get better quality. What's important to know here that the weight of your paper is how much water it can absorb. So if it's not a very high weight, then you can't put as much water on here. This one's 140 pounds. This is a 9 by 12. What I like to do with this is I like to cut them in 4 by 6, extra inch off one side. I use that for testing my colors and just a little thing to help me as I'm painting. 12 sheets to a packet, $10 at Joann's. Use your coupons, you know you have them. $5 Memorial Day weekend. And so $5, and I divide 12 sheets by 4, 48 paintings I can get in one pad. So that's a lot of paintings. If I do a painting a day, just one, this will last me over a month of doing a painting a day. This is Canson. I don't like the extra large. I like this one better, and I will try to put links in there, but this is the one that I like to use. It's my favorite, and I found it works the best. I do have more expensive stuff, and I just haven't had the courage to use it yet. The next thing you need to talk about are paints. Now, I personally like Daniel Smith. And I also like Winsor and Newton. That's another good one. That's more student grade, which is really good. So what makes a difference in the quality of your paints is the materials that they use to create them. The cheaper they are, the more fillers and other things that they put in there to not make them quality. Daniel Smith is probably my favorite, very professional. The tubes vary by their price by color because of the things they put in there. Honestly, you only need 4 colors when you're painting with watercolor. If you get too many colors, your paintings will be muddy, mixed. You're not going to be happy with your results. The less colors you can use in a watercolor, the better. Now, I don't know how basic you are with art, but you're going to need a red, blue, yellow, and a brown. If that's all you have, that's the best. Now, this is my palette. I have several of them. This is my favorite that I use for my everyday painting. And what I like about, I have way more, but it's okay. I started with 4 colors for the longest time, and I eventually graduated up to trying new things. This has the wells to mix your paints, and then they have wells to actually put your paints. What I like about watercolor is it can dry and you can reuse it. Now with oils or acrylic, once it's dry, it's no longer good anymore and you can't use it anymore. With watercolor, I actually tend to like it dry and to add water. So when I'm traveling, I have this little kit right here that I bring to work, and when I know I'm going somewhere, or even if I'm just going somewhere, you know, like to the beach, and I want to paint while I'm there and be inspired, this is my kit. I use this. Now I have other ones at home, varying sizes. You know, always use your coupons, Michael and Joanne coupons, but I have several of these. I suggest if you get these, I have like 4 or 5 of them. They're really cheap, like $1. They're not very expensive, and then some of them have covers. They're a little bit more pricey. Covers, totally worth it. I'm just going to tell you right now, having the cover is worth having for this. Paying an extra $1 or something. They also have a pre-made kit, which I have bought, and I haven't used all the colors yet, but I've played with it. This is by Winsor and Newton, $30 at Michael's. Used my coupon, $15. You've got 12 colors in here, and so that's less than $1 per color. Well, I'm sorry, my math is bad. A little over $1 a color, and comes with this little portable paintbrush. I mean, it's pretty, I like it. I've used it, and pretty good. If you really need to go small and really compact, this is what I would suggest starting out with. They're pretty good paints. You're going to probably get the results you want. It just over time, your paintings will fade a little bit more when you have student grade versus professional grade. But when you're practicing, it's good, you know, to use, because they're going to give you the results you want. Now, there's some brushes. My favorite brand is simply Simmons. I've tried other brushes, liked them. I love these brushes. I have several packs, different sizes, but honestly, I use 2 paintbrushes. I use 2. I've got a size 8 and a size 4. And these are called rounded. As you can see, they're kind of rounded tips. Simply Simmons. These are my 2 favorite brushes, favorite sizes. I almost do everything with them exclusively, unless I need to get fine detail. And then I do a size, this one. Can you see it? It's so tiny. And I use it if I really need to get in there from some fine detail. But I could live without it. If you get any brushes, these are the 2 that I would get. Worth your money. I like the way it holds the paint and the water, and I've really gotten good results. Once again, I've tried with not so good quality paints or paint brushes, and it's not, you just spend a little bit more. Use your coupons to get the brushes you need. Next, those are your things. Now, these are pretty fun, and these are for my travel. They're my little travel containers, and you can see it went from flat to a cup. You can find them in the camping section. We have a store out here in the Pacific Northwest called Daiso. It's like a Japanese dollar store. Everything's like $1.50. It's a lot of fun. I bought these, and I found that these will work really well for traveling. They go flat, and they're just easier to put in a sort of container when you have a travel kit with you. Now at home, when I'm painting, I like to use I like to use this one. This container has two separate wells in it, this side and this side. One is for washing your brushes, one is for just picking up new clean water as you're making your colors and that. What's nice about this, it has all the holes in the sides around here, and you could put your brushes in there. You never want to leave your brushes to sit in water because it breaks them down, and so if you can sit them on the side, much better. Just do not leave them in here. You are going to ruin them eventually. You want to keep your supplies as long as possible without having to buy new ones, and I found that putting them, not letting them sit in water has helped me a lot. The last thing I like to have, and I've got two of them, well, not quite the last, but almost. I have this, it's just a cutting board from Daiso, and I put my paintings on here. It's portable. I tend to like to do smaller paintings when I'm at home and have more time. I like to do the larger ones, but honestly, I really like to do the 4x6s, 5x7s if I'm doing something specific for a gift. But this is good. A lot of times, artists need to, when you do watercolor, you tape down your paper, and the reason that is that it bubbles sometimes with all the water on it, and it'll help it keep it flat as you're painting. Dollar store. I mean, you can get this. It's painter's tape for when you're painting. You use it on your walls. This dollar store, and if you get the better quality, that's okay too. Sometimes I tend to be frugal, as I use the tape and then lay it down on the opposite side to make it work. But the dollar store stuff is probably good for one run, maybe two. But I'm very careful with it. But I don't use it all the time at work. So at work, I do quick paintings. I'm quick. I do it to relax, and also, as you're training to do something, no matter what it is, you need to consistently do it. And so for me to get my skill, I need to practice my mixing, my techniques. And so every day I paint a little bit, and sometimes I get a painting done, sometimes I get halfway done because I don't have the dryer. Sometimes I use a dryer to speed up the process, but I don't have that at work. And so like today, these are two paintings that I finished, and I find my inspiration on Pinterest. I don't ever sell my paintings, so I just tend to kind of look at other people's ideas, go with it, and then I just give these away as gifts. They're my practice to learn my techniques. And you can do that too. Find inspiration in wherever you can find it, in real life, online, and practice. This will help you get your techniques, so when you are ready to do your own paintings with your own, you can do it. This is just like a little starry night I saw on Pinterest. Decided to try it out myself, and then I'll just give these away as gifts and say, hey, I was thinking of you, and people really appreciate it. The last thing you want in your kit is pencil, an eraser, and a pen, just to have it. It's always good to have around. Now, I found I like mechanical pencils. You don't have to worry about sharpening them when you're traveling. You just click, 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 and you get a new sharp edge. I also white eraser like this. These are you can replace them once you use them all up. These have been my friend since a young child. My dad had them. They're just really good. They're not harsh on your paper. They're not going to ruin your paper like the back of a regular pencil. And so I keep these around in my various art boxes, and they're not very expensive. Use your coupons. And the last is a pen that I've been playing with. I've been playing with ink and my watercolor. And this is a Pentel Micro Perma Roller. And what it does is it's ink. You put it on your paper, and you can wash over it with your watercolors, and it's not going to smudge. Now, my other little pad that I have, I showed you my little cutting board for my painting. I also have like a mat too that I do for at home for my bigger pieces that I can tape on here that I'm not going to worry about. So I'm hoping that you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to try to do tutorials and teach you how to paint, and I want to encourage you that you can do art, and you just need to be gentle with yourself. This is, when you do art, you're not in a race or competition. This is something to express yourself, release your creative juices, help yourself just have a good time. And don't ever compare your art with somebody else's, because you're on your own journey. That's with anything in life. Whatever you're doing, don't compare yourself to others, because you are on your own journey. And I'm hoping with my tutorials that you will get the courage to try to paint. and see what you can do and see that you have it inside of you that you can paint. I've met a lot of people who tell me they can only draw stick figures and they could never paint, and a couple of them I said, no, you're the perfect person for watercolor, because watercolor is very loosey goosey and it'll not always do what you want. And so it's okay to be free. You can impressionistic and have a feeling of a painting, or whatever it is that you're painting is just a feeling. And so if you want something that's accurate and exact, try photography. That's your medium, because honestly, you'll get there with painting, but if that's what you want right away, photography is for you. Painting's more about just feeling the colors and just playing. And I want you to know that you can do it. You can do watercolor, you can do a painting, and I'm here to teach you. And I hope that you enjoy my tutorials and you'll subscribe to my channel and like it. And if there's something you don't like, let me know so I can change and make accommodations for you. If there's something you want to see me paint, I can try to do that for you too. And I hope that you enjoy this video and that we can start being painting buddies and be creative. So happy painting to you.